Now you know.
Right, let's do it. Today I'm going to be making a Plex media server. Now, a media server is a computer or device that holds all of your media files so you can keep them forever. And a server is something that broadcasts those files over the internet so you can access them from any digital device. Today we're using a program called Plex. Now, Plex was set up to back up your DVDs, your music files, your photos, again, so you can access them from any device. A mobile phone, a tablet, a laptop. Today we're going to be using some bits that I have lying around the house, which I need to use. This is a Raspberry Pi B single board computer developed by the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Now, as this is old and very, very cheap, it has no onboard Wi-Fi and it has no onboard Bluetooth. So for that, easy fix, and I'm sure we all have these lying around the house. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I have no idea. But this is an old Wi-Fi USB dongle, whatever you want to call it. So you can just pop that in there and I'll show you how to update the script on your OS. I'll get to that. Now, this single board computer has no hard drive. So it has no memory, it has no operating system on it to run the programs that we need. It's just a computer. So we need to put a SD card in this. Now the recommended size for an SD card is 8 gig, which is fairly cheap as it is, but we're going even cheaper today and we're going to use a 4 gig. As we are from Newport, unless you want to put lots of running programs on it, it's not going to take up that much space. It's just going to stream from your main computer. Hi. Hi. Now, there's a program that was developed called OSMC, Open Source Media Center, and that has evolved into lots of different programs. You have LibreElect, which is again based upon the Kodi basics. And Plex we get to now, which again runs very much like the Kodi system. This program is a backup for all of your files, all of your CDs, all of your media, so you can legally put it onto your computer, access it anywhere in the home, and it doesn't get deleted, it doesn't get scratched, it stays on your home hard drive. So we have all the tech ready to go. What we need to do is we need to put an operating system on both Raspberry Pis. Those operating systems will be on your SD cards. So you need to plug one of your SD cards into your computer. You need a Google SD formatter, which will format the SD card so it's like a blank DVD, like a blank CDR. There's no image on there at all, nothing. And then you need to go on to Google, type in Rasplex, R-A-S-P-L-E-X, and go to the downloads page. There are three options, three main operating systems that are out there. You have Apple, Windows, Linux. Now, we want the Linux one because Raspberry Pi operates on a Linux-based system. So when you click on that, there'll be a number of options. Each option represents a different Raspberry Pi. So you have 0, you have 1, you have B, you have 2, Raspberry Pi 2, Raspberry Pi 3. They're all different single board computers that have different specs. So the processors are faster, slower, has more USB ports. They're just different versions of the same thing. You're going to want to click on the top one, which is compatible for the Raspberry Pi B and the Raspberry Pi Zero. So simple. One image for both single board computers. Once you've downloaded that image, you're going to want to write it onto your SD card, like you would burn an image onto a DVD. So for that, I use Win32 Disk Imager. That's a free program again, works with Windows. I'm sure Apple has other free versions that you can use. And it essentially burns the image onto the SD card. Like you'd have a Windows installation disk, this is a Rasplex, which is your new operating system on your Raspberry Pi. It has that image, so you just burn it onto there, it'll say, or write it onto there, it'll say write successful, then it's ready to go. You safely eject the SD card, take it out, put it in the Raspberry Pi, ready to go. Can't do that. Let's plug it all in and get it to work. Plug in your wireless USB receiver, plug in your USB handset, plug in your HDMI lead that goes into your TV, and then the power. You take one end of your USB lead and you plug it into the back of your TV. That USB plug is normally reserved for storage, but it still has enough voltage to run it to power the Raspberry Pi. Plug the other end, the micro USB plug, into your Raspberry Pi, and you'll see the green light start to blink. Green and red light on Pi B. If you turn on your TV, switch it to the right HDMI input, you will see it start to run. You get the rainbow screen at the beginning, you get all the programs, you see the Plex image there in the middle, the ident, and you'll see the script start to run. This is your welcome screen. This will take you through setting up your Wi-Fi, setting up your region, take you through linking to your home PC, and by the end of it you will be ready to go. So that's our first Pi set up. What we do now is we transfer those bits over to the Pi Zero. The Wi-Fi has been set up, the link to Plex has been set up, it's ready to go. And what I've found, which is a bit of a cheat, but it works, is you take the SD card out of your Pi B and you plug it into your Pi Zero. You take the same Wi-Fi receiver, you take it out, you put it into the Pi Zero, through a micro USB to USB converter, and the SD card is in there as well, and then you just need to power it up exactly the same way you did on the first monitor. Use the TV's USB 8 power and it will work, and then you just repeat the step of setting up the Pi B, and then you have two. If you wanted to get more Pi Zeros, you do it the same way. You install you install the operating system onto the Pi B, transfer it to your Pi Zero. The main thing on this that I've found works for me is that if you are setting it up on Pi B, you want to use the wireless receiver that's going to be on the Pi Zero. It just helps everything work better. So there we go, we got a home PC set up with your Plex server, and we got two Raspberry Pis connected to two TVs streaming them. Now for the Raspberry Pi B you can control with your handset, great. How are you going to control the Pi Zero? you need to go on an app store and download Handset, which works through wireless on your smartphone. The one I use is called Sybu, SYBU. It works for me, but you can get the official Raspberry Pi handset, so you just control it with your phone, scroll through it and whatever. It's quite handy as well, because if you have a TV just for the kids, you can control what they're watching, turn it off when you need to, check the content, that kind of thing. So I hope this video was instructional, and yeah, if you completely blank there at the end. If you want to subscribe, do it. If you don't want to subscribe, don't do it. And yeah, see you soon. So there we go.